Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you, so see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show. So the beginning of this email says, this week's episode made up for the terrible one last week. I felt for you both last week. It was a hard listen. So I think that's referring to the one where Jamie was sick. We felt like having an episode was better than not having an episode. Yeah. We tried our best, and Jamie, got through that the best he could. So if you rather not have an episode, then maybe we'll consider it next time. But thank you, Jamie, for turning up and trying your best. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
So she says, I've been dating a guy for a number of months now, and even though we are fully exclusive, I found out he was a pretty full-on relationship with his ex still, and they talk most days as friends. He thinks I'm strange for worrying about this, but with my past of untrustworthy men, it seems like a red flag to me. Do you think I'm being overdramatic?
No, I wouldn't say you're being overdramatic. Like, if Charlotte was still chatting a lot with her ex, I would be a fucking psychopath. I would not be able to deal with that. I think there's a difference between being like civil, if there's reasons you need to see each other still, like kids, dogs, working in the same place. Something like that. Being civil and being friendly towards each other is not a negative thing. But if they're contacting each other daily on direct messaging, if they're calling each other, that's red flag, red flag, red flag.
See, I'm torn by this because if they, yes, there is a level in which they communicate, right? I don't disagree with that. Like if they're getting up every morning and the first person they message is their ex and asking how they're doing and stuff like that, that's a red flag to me because I'm like, why do you care so much? But like if it's like 2 or 3 times a week where they've noticed something or they have something to ask or it's like a conversation thing, then I'll just be like, because that is a friend, right? I mean, most friends I speak to a couple of times, just as you. But I think if they're like, oh, I need to message this person because of this, oh, like that to me says that they're still on their mind a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the waking up and messaging them. That's like, why have you woken up and the first thing you thought of is, I'm going to message my ex? That's pretty fucking weird.
Yeah, that would weird me out. I think, like, I've never stayed friends with any exes, so I'm very like black and white on the subject. But when it comes to if you were to put yourself in like their position and you were doing that, how would they react to you doing that? Because not a lot of people would be helpful, and like the fact that you're speaking to your ex on a day-to-day basis. Because I think there's certain points where, and certain exes especially, that if I was to be in contact with, or Charlotte was to be in contact with, there's still going to be some sexual thing there because of chemistry there, because you've always had it.
Yeah.
And even if you're talking over text and it's pretty innocent, that constant contact is going to lead to something eventually.
I think myself, it all depends on like how they broke up to me. Like, because some people just grow apart and they still want to be friends, but they're just nothing there romantically anymore.
Yeah.
Like everything's fizzled out and they were basically just living as roommates and they were like, look, this is silly. Like, let's just, go our separate ways. And then they're still good friends. Then I could be like, oh, okay. But like, if it was like, oh, someone cheated on someone, or like something that ended the relationship quickly, which would mean that nothing was resolved. There was still, like stuff could come back, like, you know, romantically and stuff like that. That would make me worry. So I think to myself, like, I'd be like, well, how did you guys split up? And if he's like, oh, you know, we had a big fight, blah blah blah, this blah blah, but you know, we got through it and we just decided to stay friends, I'll be like, no, because no.
I would, even if his intentions are pure, I would question her intentions. I think one of them was probably still interested.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard because some people you speak to and you know that they're not going to do anything, right? Like we've got this email and it's just sort of like, well, the person's speaking to their ex and we're trying to figure out what kind of person the guy is without knowing him.
Yeah.
If you want to go black and white and say he's messaging his ex, you know, is that something to be concerned about? If it was black and white, yeah, I guess it is. If you wanted me to be not think any more into it, be like, why are you talking to your ex anyway? Like, obviously, if you're an ex, it's because it's fizzled out and you're not really interested into each other anymore. So why should you need to talk to each other?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But then this podcast isn't built on black and white. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point. We try and talk about and see different angles that you can see it from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's always a conversation, right? And I think to myself, like, if you explain why you're worried about these things, like, he should take it seriously.
Yeah, because then you've opened up to a point where he then knows why you're insecure.
Yeah, which I think is really important, and it shows a lot of commitment on your side for, like, the relationship. Like, you've opened up that he should be like, okay, understand. You know, I won't message her as. I don't know whether, like, I don't know whether it's fair to be like, you can't speak to him ever again. Like, I can imagine like an acceptable cutting back, like, unless it's important.
I think, a cutting back is a minimum. I think if you if you probe the situation, you should be able to get a judgment on what the meaning behind it is. Even if it's just a feeling, I would just go with that feeling.
Yeah,
because I just don't think if our listener's been hurt a few times, I don't think it's worth putting yourself through something and then thinking to myself, I should have known.
Yeah,
because of this and that. Do you know what I mean?
I think as well, like, a person's attitude when you ask them questions is a big sign as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you're asking him questions and he's getting defensive and things like that, because he either thinks you're going to say to stop seeing her or stuff like that, and he's getting a thing, it's like, well, you know, friends come and go.
Yeah. And if he's getting super defensive, then
he's got more feelings than that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I stayed friends with most of my exes for a little bit, and then when I meet someone else, it sort of fizzles out because I've got no reason to talk to them. They've got their own lives and I've got mine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So when he's met someone, like he's met you, it should decrease, not, you know, stay the way it is or increase more.
Yeah, because I think if you're messaging anyone, if you've got a partner and you're messaging someone loads when your partner's sitting next to you,
yeah,
it's a bit weird.
It is indeed. It is very indeed. I don't know. The more we speak, and the more I'm sort of like, fuck him. Just from that last sentence, I was like, it suddenly occurred to me. It's like, yeah, now that he's with her, he should be speaking to her, the other one, less. Like, I can understand it when you're single, but why does he need it now? I think it's a definite conversation, and it's a definite, like, gauging his responses to your questions. And if you feel comfortable opening up to him about why you feel the ways you do, and see how he responds, and then take it from there. But you know that me and Jamie don't like going down the route of breaking up and things like that. That's not what we're here for.
No, I don't think it would be good for anyone to take the advice if we always say, fuck him, leave him. I think you've got to go around it an adult way.
Yeah.
But I would be careful. But I am not a trusting person when it comes to stuff like that. So I'm not necessarily my first reaction to it is not necessarily the best reaction.
No, I think it's like an adult conversation is best, and explain what's going through your head and things like that. And his reaction really, says it all. If he doesn't take it seriously, then he's not going to take anything else seriously, that your feelings and stuff like that. Then I would say, it's probably consideration to give it a quit. But it depends how long you've been together as well. Like, it doesn't say, it says a number of months, so maybe it's still early on. He's not going to make drastic changes because maybe it doesn't feel like at the minute it's that serious.
Yeah,
which is a nice thing to say, but
at the minute,
like it's an early relationship. No one's going to sort of start getting rid of people that early on.
No.
So it's in a couple months it could be nothing. You could just be overthinking it now. It's hard to judge.
It is hard to judge, and as you said, when we ain't got the full story and know the guy ourselves, we're basing it purely off what we're thinking. We could be assuming totally wrong things.
Well, there's when I first started dating Sabina, and we said about the pictures and things like that. I had all that stuff, and I had numbers and things like that on my phone. And then when when it started to get to the point where it was I'm really happy, and I would come off all the dating sites and all that sort of stuff, and I decided I want to give this a chance, and I got rid of everything. I mean, that was a couple months. I wasn't looking at any of the stuff, but it was there, and I just thought to myself, no, I don't want to upset her or get myself in trouble, or for them ever to come up and it be a problem. So I was I'm just going to get rid of it, and that way I can focus on the relationship. Yeah. But I wouldn't have done that right off the bat. Oh, we've just started dating. Right, I'm just going to do everything. Everything's going in the bin. Well, men don't work that way anyway. Women, I don't know if women do, but men don't.
Oh, mate, I've got fucking pictures on my phone from fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah, men work on this, if it's that serious, I'll get rid of it. But the men like options, right? Well, not in that sense, but I mean, men don't look at it as if, right, I've met someone, everything's got to be a clean slate. They're like, what if it doesn't work out and then I've got rid of that person? What if it doesn't work out and I've thrown this away?
Yeah,
that's how men work. Especially with the fleshlights and things like that.
I think a lot of it comes down to laziness as well.
What is that?
What's it called? What's the word? Compartmentalizing, where you don't really think about it, but it's still in you. You still have access to things, but you don't think about it because it's almost like it's not a subconscious thing. It's just that really most guys would be too lazy to get rid.
When I say about 90 days, there was this woman, Gino, and I can't remember, but she's really mental about cheating and all this sort of stuff. She comes over to his house and he's out doing something and she's cleaning, and she goes to the drawer and she finds all these old letters from his ex, and she lays them on the table, and he comes home and he's all, in a good mood. And she's like, what's this? And he's like, what? She goes, these letters from your ex. And he looks at him and he goes, they're 3 years old. And she's like, well, why have you kept them? And he's like, well, where'd you find them? Oh, in the bottom of a drawer in the bedroom. And he's like, I haven't been in that drawer in years. I don't know they're fucking in there. Would you expect me to go for my entire house and throw everything away? Yes. And he's like, don't be stupid. Throw them away now. No, no, you wanted to keep them, you keep them. And he's like, what are you on about? They were in a drawer, just throw them away. And she's fucking crying, I want to go home. And it's like, come on, like, do you expect him to gut his house because you're coming over?
Mate, I had a pretty small bedroom growing up, and when moving out of that bedroom, I found loads of shit that I forgot I've had in that bedroom.
Yeah.
Like years and years, they've been sitting under my bed or sitting in the back of a drawer, and only a fucking quarter of that shit come with me to the flat, and even less of that shit made it to the house that I'm living in now. So
yeah. I guarantee you, when I go through this house, when Spina moves in, I'll be finding stuff from exes, and it will go straight in the bin. And obviously, I know Sabina will understand that, but there's stuff in this house. You know what I mean? Of course there is.
Yeah, because it just gets packed up with all the rest of your shit.
Yeah, but it'll definitely be going in the bin. But yeah, the point we're trying to get at is that it's if it's an early relationship, he may not have considered this, but a conversation about how you feel will judge about how he sees the relationship, and you can go from there. I think that was right. We're in a little bit of a moan.
Worst thing in my eyes is that he's trying to keep his options open.
Yeah, yeah. So you need to have a conversation with him. Oh hell yeah, absolutely. But good luck. Hopefully the episode's got better since then. I know Jamie's milking his sickness, but you can understand him now.
Fucking cheeky bastard.
We will be better prepared next time. We are going to do some emergency episodes in case one of us are sick again.
Yes, we will be.
Yeah. So we, I don't want to say sorry because you got an episode out of it, whether it was good or bad. But yeah, we'll be better prepared next time.